What if I told you that the very act of wanting is what is keeping you from receiving? For most of your life, you've been told that if you want something hard, if you visualize it with all your strength, if you repeat the words over and over again, then life will finally bend to your will. And yet, how many times have you tried with sincerity and hope, only to meet the silence of the universe? This silence is not because you are unworthy, not because you are broken, but because there is a deeper law at work, a law that does not respond to wanting, but to coherence. Perhaps right now you carry the silent fatigue of trying for years without seeing change. You may know too well the weight of praying, visualizing, affirming, only to feel that life remains the same. The frustration creeps in, whispering doubts like, am I doing it wrong? Is the universe ignoring me? Or worse, am I not meant to have this life I dreamed of? I want you to know that you are not alone in this. Many souls walk with this same question burning inside their hearts. And I also want you to know your struggle is not a failure, but a signpost pointing to a truth most people have never been told. Through the eyes of Bruce Lipton, we discover that your biology is not a passive machine, but an intelligent system responding every second to your beliefs, your perception, and your emotions. If your conscious mind says, I want to grow, I want abundance, I want healing, but your subconscious holds fear, unworthiness, or mistrust, then your biology does not move toward expansion. It moves into protection. The body reads your subconscious belief as danger, and instead of opening, it closes. And when your body closes, your energy contracts. Joe Dispenza completes this with another layer. True intention without emotion is like a voice lost in static. A thought without the resonance of feeling is just noise in the quantum field. The heart's electromagnetic field is 5,000 times stronger than that of the brain, which means your body is the transmitter, not just your mind. When thought and heart do not agree, there is no signal strong enough for the universe to hear. It's like a radio. You may turn the knob to the station you want, but if the frequency is on, you will never hear the music clear. The knob is your conscious desire that points to what you think you want. The true frequency, the one that allows the music to flow, is set by your subconscious belief and your emotional state. If they are misaligned, you hear only static. Many people spend their lives turning the knob harder, wishing it would work, when what they really need is to tune their inner frequency. This is why manifestation is not about pushing, forcing, or convincing the universe to listen. The universe is always listening. It has never stopped. The real question is, are you coherent enough for your message to be heard? Coherence is the harmony between thought, emotion, and biology. When your heart feels what your mind, when your body enters into agreement with your spirit, a signal is born. Clear, strong, undeniable. That is the frequency creation responds to. So as we begin this journey together, I invite you to shift your perspective. This path is not about trying harder, not about demanding more, not about endless wanting. It is about remembering that within you there is already a perfect design for alignment. Remembering that you are not here to conquer the universe, but to come back into harmony with it. What you seek is not outside you. It is in the coherence of your biology, your mind, and your energy. Stay with it, because in the next steps, we will gently open the spaces where coherence has been broken. And together very nature, does not invite abundance. Stress tells the cells to survive, not to expand. Stress tightens the breath, hardens the chest, and contracts the muscles. You can feel it in the knot in your stomach, in the restless sleep, in the exhaustion that follows your efforts. The best way to understand this is through a simple symbol. A car pressing both the accelerator and the brake at the same time. The engine roars, the noise is loud, but the car goes nowhere. That is what happens when your conscious mind desires one direction and your subconscious fears another. The noise is real, the effort is real, but the movement is stuck. Have you felt this inner contradiction? That moment when you speak affirmations of abundance, but your chest feels tight with worry. That instant when you visualize hell, but your body aches with doubt. This is not weakness nor failure. It is simply the signal of incoherence, showing you exactly where the fracture lies. Your biology is not betraying you. It is revealing to you the place where healing is still waiting. Begin to notice the thought that circle in your mind again and again. Watch how your body responds to the sigh, the shallow breath, the tension in the shoulders. All of these are signals of where coherence is missing. They are invitation, not condemnations. Each reaction is a door pointing to the place where mind and body need reunion. This is the first step into true manifestation, to see clearly the silent split within you and to recognize that the universe does not respond to words alone. It responds to the vibration born when thought and biology walk as one. Without this, manifestation becomes noise. With it, creation becomes inevitable. Why most people fail at visualizing their future? There is a widespread belief that visualization is enough to shape reality. Countless teachings suggest that if you can picture the life you desire vividly enough, it will eventually come to you. And yet, how many people close their eyes, imagine the dream house, the loving partner flourishing enough, only to open their eyes to the same unchanged reality? The silent truth is that many confuse imagining with embody. Visualization without emotion becomes nothing more than data. The subconscious does not respond to abstract images. It learns through repetition and through feeling. This is what Bruce Lipton's work reveals so clearly. Your subconscious is like fertile soil, but it only accepts the seeds of belief when they are watered by emotion. A thought alone floats at the surface, but a thought charged with emotion sinks deep into the subconscious and begins to take root. Without emotion, the image has no weight, no density, no life force to imprint itself into the body. Joe Dispenza reminds us that the brain does not distinguish between something truly experienced and something vividly imagined with emotion. If you feel joy as though the dream were already here, the body believes. If you feel safety as though the future were already lived, the nervous system accepts it as true. And when the body accepts, the signal radiates with coherence into the field. This is where visualization becomes manifestation, not in the image itself, but in the state it awakens within. Think of how often you have closed your eyes and seen the picture of what you want, but the body remained unchanged, still tense, still doubting, still waiting. That is why the picture dissolves the moment you open your eyes. The state was never embodied, the subconscious was never convinced, the energy was never tuned. Instead of imagining the result as if it were a distant goal, enter the feeling of already living, not the distant joy of one day, but the quiet, safe, already here. Breathe into the warmth of what it feels like to be held, to be secure, be provided for. Let your nervous system taste, not just your mind. In that moment, you are not pretending, you are training your biology to recognize a new reality. The paradox is that true visualization is not about the external picture, but the internal state. When you see only the end result, you keep reinforcing the distance between you and it. But when you embody the state of being, the gratitude, the peace, the worthiness that precedes the outcome, you collapse the distance. You no longer send the signal, I want, you radiate the signal. I am, and the universe always responds to I am. This is why so many attempts at visualization fail. They are pictures without pulse, images without breath, hopes without embodiment. The real power begins not when you see the dream, but when you become the frequency, when your body, mind, and heart all whisper the same truth. The dream no longer waits in the future. It begins to unfold in the now. The silent factor that sabotages frequency, dopamine distraction. There is a force in modern life that quietly erodes the capacity to manifest. It is not always obvious because it hides in the small habits of everyday living. The endless scrolling, the quick search for likes, the constant checking of messages, the chase for the next small rush of satisfaction. These are not merely distractions. distractions of the mind. They are interruptions of frequency. They fragment attention, scatter energy, and weaken the ability to hold intention long enough for it to ripen into reality. Science has shown us that dopamine-driven habits reshape the brain. Each time we seek the quick hit of stimulation, the circuitry of patience and deep focus becomes weak. The mind becomes restless, always reaching for the next spark, never resting in the silence where coherence is born. Bruce Lipton's insights remind us that habitual signals sculpt biology. When impatience becomes the dominant signal, the cells themselves are trained to expect immediacy, and the body learns to resist the slow rhythm of growth. This is why manifestation, which requires consistency of vibration, so often collapses under the weight of modern distraction. The field does not respond to scattered signals, it responds to steady resonance. Yet when the nervous system is conditioned for constant novelty, it cannot sustain the elevated state long enough to create. The desire remains, but the frequency is unstable. The signal is broken before it reaches coherence. Think of it like a seed planted in the soil. Each time you grow messy and dig it up to see if it is sprouting, you interrupt its process. You destroy the conditions needed for growth. Manifestation works in the same way. Every time the mind grows impatient and searches for quick evidence, the energy of creation is unsettled. Instead of allowing the seed to root, you keep disturbing the soil, and the growth never takes hold. The truth is that manifestation is not about speed. It is not about how quickly results appear, but about how deeply the frequency is sustained. Life is not asking you to chase harder, but to remain steady, to become unwavering. The power lies not in how often you check if something has happened, but in how consistently you embody the vibration of already being so. Without realizing it, many people are training their energy for fragmentation. The constant pull of external validation scatters the inner field. The invitation is to rediscover the sacred power of presence, to allow silence to become fertile again, to let the body relearn the rhythm of patience. Because when the noise quiets, when attention is gathered and the signal is no longer interrupted by endless distraction, coherence emerges. And coherence is the language the universe never fails to understand. Emotional coherence, the real signal the universe responds to. There is a misunderstanding that has led many seekers into frustration. The idea that manifestation requires constant positivity, a perpetual smile, or the denial of pain. But coherence is not about forcing yourself to be happy all the time. It is about the authentic alignment of mind, body, and heart. True coherence is born not from pretending, but from harmonizing. It is the state where your emotions are acknowledged, your breath is steady, and your body feels safe enough to open. Forced positivity is like painting over a cracked wall. On the surface, it may look smooth, but the fracture remains underneath. The universe does not respond to the paint. It responds to the vibration of what is real. When we suppress grief, fear, or doubt, the body still carries the tension, and the signal it transmits is one of stress, not expansion. Bruce Lipton's work reminds us that stress hormones push the body into protection mode. In that mode, growth and creativity shut down. Energy is redirected toward survival, not toward creation. Emotional coherence, however, does not demand that you eliminate sadness or erase fear. It asks only that you enter into a state of harmony with yourself, to feel what is present and then bring the body back like flow, the woman who stopped trying and finally manifested. There was once a woman who devoted years of her life to the practice of affirmation. Each morning and each night, she repeated words of abundance, health, and love. She filled journals with sentences declaring her worth, her power, her vision. And yet, day after day, her life seemed unmoved, as though her words vanished into emptiness. The more she tried, the more exhausted she became. Her affirmations grew louder, but inside she felt smaller. It was as if the very act of trying to convince herself was proof that she did not truly believe. One day, worn by disappointment, she stopped, not in despair, but in surrender. She no longer forced the words. She no longer pressured herself to sound positive. Instead, she began to notice the smallest things that were already working in her life. A warm cup of tea that brought comfort, a neighbor's smile that softened her loneliness, the strength of her own breath when she placed a hand on her chest. For the first time, she wasn't chasing a future image. She was honoring the reality of the present moment. Gratitude replaced performance. Presence replaced striving. It was in this subtle shift that her world began to change. Without announcing, without demanding, life started to open. A new opportunity appeared. A door she had long hoped for quietly unlocked. Connections formed that carried her closer to the life she once tried to force into being. She realized that what had blocked her was not the lack of words, but the tension of trying. By softening, she became receptive. By surrendering, she finally allowed herself to receive. Bruce Lipton's teachings explain why this was possible. The subconscious does not transform when most words contradict inner states. It changes when emotion and repetition align. By choosing gratitude for small daily wins, her nervous system felt safe. Her biology shifted. Her cells began to resonate with expansion rather than contraction. She was no longer signaling danger. She was signaling openness. The truth is beautifully simple. A clenched fist cannot receive what only an open hand can hold. The same is true of the heart. When we tighten with effort, we block the flow. When we soften with trust, we become the vessel that life can fill. The woman who stopped trying did not give up on her dream. She gave up on forcing, and in doing so, she discovered what it means to manifest through coherence rather than control. Her story is not extraordinary. It is not a miracle reserved for the few. It is a reminder for all of us that when we shift from striving to receive, from performance to presence, from tension to gratitude, manifestation ceases to be a struggle. It becomes the natural unfolding of a life that has returned to alignment. And it all begins with something as small as noticing one moment each day where life has already said yes. As we arrive at the end of this journey together, pause for a moment and let the words settle within you. You may have recognized yourself in the silent errors, in the restless attempts, in the moments of frustration when nothing seemed to move. You may have felt the echo of your own doubts in the stories and images shared. If so, know that this recognition itself is a doorway. It means you are not lost. It means you are listening again. Many of us have carried the heavy belief that change requires constant strife, endless wanting, or an almost desperate performance of positivity. But what we have uncovered here is gentle and far more profound. The universe does not measure the intensity of your effort. It responds to the coherence of your being. And coherence is born not from force, but from harmony, not from norm, but from alignment. Perhaps you have walked through loneliness, grief, or the silence of unanswered prayers. Perhaps you have questioned whether life holds meaning, or whether the time for change is already past. Hear this truth deep. You still have time. The universe is not closing its doors to you. It has only been waiting for your signal to become clear, for your mind and your heart to finally speak in one voice. This is the invitation of coherence, to breathe into your own body and allow safety to return, to honor gratitude for what already exists, even in its smallest forms, to let go of the clenched fist and open your hands up. When you do, the signal you send is no longer fragmented. It is whole, steady, undeniable. And when the signal is whole, creation responds. Let us close with words that can be spoken soft, like an offering to your own soul. Say them not as a command, but as a remembrance. I am coherent. I am alive. I am open to receive. Feel these words as more than sounds. Let them become the rhythm of your breath, the pulse of your heart, the vibration that moves quietly through you. Carry this with you as you step back into your day, not as a task, not as a demand, but as a living presence within you.